Bless you. Hopefully you're having an incredible day. Hopefully God is doing some phenomenal things in your life and you are taking a moment to enjoy what he's doing. The Bible says not for everything, but in everything. Give him thanks, for this is the will of God concerning you. So whether you like it or not, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's sunny or whether it's cloudy, give him thanks right now because he's doing some incredible things. I want to take a moment for this Monday and share something that I believe is a very hard lesson to teach. One of the hardest things that I've had to deal with, not only as a pastor or preacher, but as a man. I want to deal with forgiveness today. I want to deal with forgiving again. Forgiving again. Now, that's the F word that a lot of people don't want to talk about because it's easy to accept an apology, but it's much more difficult to forgive. I want to lift up some things today that I believe will help you because the Bible says it is impossible that offenses will not come. And so if you live this life to any degree, you're going to have people that are going to make mistakes that are in your life. Watch this. You're going to have people that make some mistakes that love you, that appreciate you, but because they're imperfect people, they're going to make some imperfect mistakes. And so if you're going to forgive again, I want to give you some principles that I believe is going to challenge you to be the better and the richer. Number one, if you're going to forgive again, you have to deal with the problem. What happened? Why did it happen? Now that sounds simple, but this is what I've discovered, especially with doing marriage and family counseling. I've discovered that most times people accept the apology, but they never talk about what caused the injury and how they felt as a result of the injury. And so they kind of smooth it over and, say, okay, it is what it is. And they kind of talk around it. But what I've discovered is that while they are on cruise control, the enemy is putting thoughts and the enemy is playing on the power of suggestion. And because there is an injury, there's no healing that is taking place. And so one thing happens and then there's now this explosion again because this wound is still sensitive. We've just been avoiding it and going around it. And so you want to make sure you deal with the problem. What happened? Why did it happen? How did I feel? How did I get in that situation? If you don't talk about the problem, please understand, you will not be able to forgive again and even have an opportunity to restore or even repair that particular relationship. So you have to deal with the problem. Then secondly, you have to deal with placement. Placement. What is placement? There are some people that I've forgiven that I could not necessarily restore back to the place they were in before. It was some people that were real close to me and they made the mistakes, but that did not mean that I had to bring them right back to the same place in my life. And so if I'm going to forgive people again, I need to pray and say, okay, God, do I welcome them back and give them another opportunity? And maybe that is, what I need to do at that time. Or then maybe God says, just forgive them, but learn the lesson and keep your distance so that you can stay in a healthy place. So once you identify the problem, deal with the placement. What role are they supposed to play after I've forgiven? It doesn't always mean you have to welcome them back, but it doesn't always mean you have to shun them away and keep your distance. Because again, some imperfect people will make imperfect mistakes. So we want to figure out how we handle them. So not only is the problem, the placement important, but the principle of forgiveness. Now let me share this with you, and I really need you to catch this. Forgiveness is more about you than it is about the person you've forgiven. That you want to make sure that my heart is pure. The Bible said, if I harbor iniquity in my heart, the Lord will not hear me. So I want to make sure that my heart is clear. I don't ever want someone to have so much control over me that they can walk in a room and my whole attitude changes and my face changes. I want to keep being friendly. I want to keep showing the love of God. Even if I know they're a snake, even if I know that they have, a dagger to try to stab me in my back, I have to rejoice in the principle of Isaiah 54:17, that absolutely, positively no weapon that is formed against me, even if my frenemy has it in their hand, even if they're digging a ditch, the Bible says no weapon. If they're a family, if they're a friend, no weapon. If they go to church with me, if they work with me, no weapon. It doesn't matter. Higher than me, at the same level than me, or lower than me. No weapon that is formed against me shall be able to prosper. So if God be for me, he's more than the world against me. So I can't put so much energy in worrying about what they're going to do. I've got to trust that God is with me and God is behind me. And when a man's ways please the Lord, and I say this often, Proverbs 16:7, when a man's ways please the Lord, he will make even his enemies at peace with him. So yes, you have enemies. Yes, you have people that have wronged you. Again, some of those people, forgive them and bring them right back in your life. Give them another chance. God gave you another chance. Or then quite possibly God says, learn from the lesson. Not only do I want you to forgive, but I want you to create some distance so that that same injury doesn't happen again. Pray for wisdom to figure out how to do. So again, those 3 things to help you to overcome the failure factor. Number 1, understand the problem. Understand the placement. How do I handle them? And then understand the principle. Forgiveness is more about you than it is about them. We have another Monday. God has blessed us with 5 Mondays in this month to be able to share with you. So I'll talk to you next week. I love you all.